Oh, troll. What's going on, y'all? Big Doug back here coming at y'all again. So I told you I'd do a little install on the Danmoto exhaust on the Sportster. So I'm not going to make this just like a super long video. I'm basically just going to cut it down and just kind of show you what you need to know. Now, of course, there are tons of videos showing you how to do an exhaust on a Sportster. The only one good I found for this exhaust, it's like a 50-minute video where they do everything, show you everything. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you everything you have to do in pieces. So I'm not going to do a full video. It's going to be cut down a lot. But this will give you the gist of it. Now, one thing I'm not going to do when I do installs is I'm not going to go over every little single size washer nut you need. You can figure it out yourself. You're an adult. If you ain't got at least one or two of them tool cases, that's one of my tool cases, then you don't need to be doing this anyway. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take off these heat shields. So you have a couple of these band clamps. Actually, it looks like 3 of them on this one and 2 of them on that one, maybe 3. Yep, there's another 3rd one down there. So we're going to take these off. Alright, so you can see the heat shields are off. Once we get those band clamps undone, they pretty much just pull right off. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take these bad boys off. So we have 1 band clamp on the end of each of these. And if you look right under here, we got 1 and there's number 2. And there's 2 on that one as well. So it's basically 3 bolts for each of these and they'll just slide right off. Alright, use a little bit of elbow grease to pull the mufflers off. But once you get the mufflers off, you are down to both the header pipes. Adjust it down to the bracket. So the bracket's basically in 2 pieces. Now this piece, see there's 2 bolts under here. I accidentally took this one off, taking this muffler off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bracket off right here. Once this is off, we're going to go ahead and start working on this. It's gone, we're going to go ahead and work on the header pipes. So like I said before, there's this 1 bracket here. We're going to go ahead and take this off. And that's real simple, just 1 bolt comes right off. Then we have the 2 on the head right there. And we also have 2 on the front head right there. Now keep in mind when you get these off, there is a pipe here that connects both the headers for scavenging. So these are connected. You can't disconnect them. So once you get them off, just be a little bit careful and you can go ahead and jimmy it right out. Because I was almost an idiot right there. I did forget, you do have to unplug the O2 sensors and just kind of feed the wire through, just so when you take the exhaust off, the O2 sensors will come with it. So the rear O2 sensor is going to be right in here. You can pull your fuel line right out just a little bit. And here it is. Just push it in, pull it out. There you go. And we're just going to leave this hanging down for now. Now your front O2 sensor is going to be right here. There's this little retaining clip. You can pull it off just like that. And then same thing. Push the tab in, pull it out, and feed it through. Now, these aren't like ran super weird, but just kind of remember how they were ran, just so it still looks clean, still looks factory once you plug it all back up. And one big thing I will show you guys real quick, taking off these head bolts. You can see right here, this is the front one that is behind the frame rail. So you won't have a lot of space to ratchet it, which will get annoying, but at least on mine, it fits very well like this. I have seen some of the older Sportsters where the extension fits directly in that gap. Mine does not. It's angled a little bit. So I'm not sure if maybe the engine's in a slightly different place on mine, or if maybe they've made the frame rails a little bit thicker. But this is how I'm taking mine off. All the other 3 are off, and it's coming off perfectly fine like this. Alright, so here we are, guys. These are the header pipes when they come off. Now in these little flanges right here, you can just kind of jimmy them a little bit as you're pulling this off, and they'll kind of slide down and they'll come off very nicely. So we're going to do 2 things. One is we're going to get these O2 sensors off and transfer them on to the new headers right over there. Now, these little things right here, what we'll do is, if you have the specialized wrench for it, you can either spread them apart, slide them off, or you could just kind of stick a screwdriver in there, spread them apart, or you can honestly, or you can just kind of get in here. It is tough. I'm just gonna take a screwdriver to it. I've seen people just kind of get in there and kind of wiggle it around. So these come off and these come off. You'll transfer these onto the new pipes just like this. So I will show you, see how this is flat on this side, and it's flared on the inside. They're both exactly the same, just make sure you orient them right. Alright, now we got all the pieces off. It's all ready to go into the new exhaust. But before we do that, we're going to come right back over here. So, this is the bracket we need. That's the bracket we have. So what we have to do is we have to take the sprocket cover off right here. It's just a few different Allens. And then once that is off, we can just go ahead and take this off. And then we'll put that new one on. Here, this may not be an issue for most of you guys, but I just want to make you aware. So right here, I do have the factory Harley mid controls on the Roadster. And this style cover that they're using, not sure if they've changed it. With the brake here, I can't get it off. So I have to take this off just so I can slide it out, and then I can get this out. And I might not have to take it off all the way, but it does have to be at least loosened. So that's just something for you guys to be aware of. You may have to do this as well. Bracket cover off. Now, yeah, that I think my foot hitting it. Okay, Harley. It's only a new bike, but whatever. So now that I loosened this and pulled it back a little bit, now we have access to the bracket right here. So the bracket has one bolt up here, two up here, and this one is actually one of the bolts that runs right through the sprocket cover. Now this one we're not going to be reusing, but these two we will be reusing with the new bracket right here. So as you see, it's going to go right there, and it's going to be much tighter and in different shape. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out, and then we'll start doing some of the fun stuff. Alright, so again, just so you know, with the big controls, to get to that bolt right there, I did actually have to pull this down quite a bit. So again, you guys are mid controls, this thing is going to be in the way like a motherfucker. Alright, so this is how the bracket's going to look like here once you got it on. Now I don't have this tightened on yet because I'm going to have to get the cover on. Not going to show you guys that again. So after that, I'll come back with the head pipes. We'll put the head pipes on. Buttoned up, sensors in. You do get a couple different bungs with the exhaust. So of course the pipe itself is threaded. You get this one and you get a blocked off one if you don't have the two sensors. So what I'm going to do, take this right here, right on the O2 sensor, and then we're going to go ahead and install that in the pipe, and then we're going to put the flange on the pipe. I'm going to put the pipe on the bike. Painting thing right here can be a little difficult to get off the stock pipe. It is harder to get on the new pipe, but what I did actually do, and it worked very well, is I just tightened the vice clamp as much as it'll go, grabbed onto it, and basically just yanked it right on. Worked perfectly. Go. You're going to want to go ahead and get these exhaust gaskets out. They are right in there. So if you have a pick, you can get it out. I did not. However, I did manage to get it out. I did destroy it a little bit. And you can reuse these. However, this stock exhaust is never going to be back on this bike, so we cannot use this. That is where these come in. As you can see, these are much smaller. These do not go around the pipe. These go in front of it. That is because we do have a larger diameter pipe. And these are actually from Screaming Eagle. And I got them right at my Harley Davidson dealership. The Harley Davidson website said basically everyone in the area had these in stock, and they're like $9. So if you need them, you forgot to order them, take a trip to Harley Davidson, go pick yourselves up some, because you do need them. These are very important, my friend. Very important. 420, just blaze. Here we do have the front pipe on. Now what I will show you guys right here is, see that? This is not tight. I didn't even really hand tight this because we do have to get this positioned with the other pipe and with the big muscle right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on. We're going to do the same thing, and then we're going to go ahead and put the exhaust on. Right here is the reason why we don't tighten everything down. Now I have both on. So this is going to go right here. As you can see, we need to do a few adjustments. Actually, I need to go there. See, as you can see, we have room to pull them together. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is adjust them and put them on. Now what we have is this right here. This is what they give us. Kind of a pain in the ass way to do it. This basically goes right in there. Then they give us these two little bolts. These bolts will go right from under here and tie it all together for us. I had to take a break for a few seconds just because it's very difficult to get all this aligned. Now one thing I will say, your brake pedal does get fairly close to this. Doesn't seem to be hitting it. Yet if it does, we'll come at that when I need to. So the biggest pain in the ass of this thing is lining it up. Especially because this is cheaper. And I guess when they welded the piece on here, that part became a little bit basically untrue, not quite a true circle. So that pipe literally didn't fit in there. Now, all I did, I took the back of the vise, tapped it a few times, didn't slam it, tapped it a few times, slid right in. Now, very tight fit, so just expect getting that put together and aligned is a big pain in the ass. Now, the one thing I didn't show you guys I did, there are these springs here that pretty much every exhaust system has to kind of help hold them all together. Now this one, instead of using clamps, he uses 2 here and 1 here. So you can do it a couple ways. Take a pair of needle nose. I find the easiest way is to get this in there, just pull it straight through. So I only have 1 more. I have 1 right over here to put on. After that spring's on, I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to torque everything down. Now I'm going to use it kind of as a hand feel. You know, it's got to be fairly tight, not stupid tight. So, you know, do whatever is comfortable for you. If you don't feel comfortable hand torquing it, get out a torque wrench. Then after that, I won't show you some of this stuff because it's kind of reverse order. So after I torque everything down, I will go ahead, I'll put the O2 sensors back. Then I'll put the bolts on down here. Of course, I did show you guys how that bracket works, so I don't need to show you guys that. Then after that, of course, fuel pack time. We'll go ahead, throw the tune on here, which again, I already showed you guys how to do in another video. And then we'll take it for a little test drive. So that's the install done. There's the Danmoto Highwayman 2-in-1 exhaust for the Harley Davidson Sportster. So one thing I will warn you guys, this bracket down here, pain in the fucking ass. That bracket took me the longest out of anything, I kid you not. Another thing to keep in mind is the O2 sensor bungs are in a little bit different spot. So I'll show you what I got, show you guys what I did. So up here I do have the clip higher up, and I ran it kind of in front of the head, and I pulled the plug up like that. So it's ran a little bit differently, but it'll work very well. And right over here you can see that plug is no longer behind the cover, it's right there. So you just kind of have to pull it out a little bit, but it works pretty well. So my worn out fat ass, because I don't have the proper tools, and this exhaust isn't the easiest to align because it's cheap as fuck. Got it done. So let me clean this mess up a little bit, and then I'll go inside, get the fuel pack, tune the bike, and we'll go for a ride. Well, it's a potato can. Hopefully it looks decent. I do have S9 Plus, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But I got the good old SD card error on the GoPro again, so I'll have to look into that more. Maybe I'll just reset it one more time and it'll be all good. Who knows? We'll figure it out. So, no first ride today, but my first impressions of it, it's honestly quite a bit louder than I thought it would be, which kind of sucks. I was hoping to be a little bit quieter than it is, because apparently it has a removable baffle, but looks like you have to take the whole fucking thing apart to take it out. But honestly, I may get another baffle, pop it in there, just to make it just a touch quieter. But even though it is louder than I thought it'd be, it's not obnoxious. It's definitely passable. Now, the stock tune I used from Vance & Hines, I did choose the standard baffle with the high flow air filter, and I'll say it's decent. There's a little bit of popping and real super down low. There is a little bit of hesitation, kind of like how it was stock. But I can definitely smell a little bit of richness coming out the exhaust, so it's not choking it off. It's definitely getting fuel. And when I'm on it, I mean, she's good. She makes good power. Now, I don't know if I said it with the air filter. I really meant to, though. It's not making a world of difference. It's making enough difference to where it's good, but it's, you know, it's not a sport bike with the extra little bit, but a bit more pipe, a bit more loud. And I'm not the hugest fan of the way the muffler's set in the shape of it, but I like this so much more than the stock exhaust, and less chrome for my millennial ass is good for me. So there we go. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful, kind of showing you how it is. Now, of course, like I said, when I do installs, I'll remind you guys one more time, I'm not going to show you every single bolt size. I'm not going to show you every single bolt I'm taking off. I'm going to show you what you have to do, and it'll be just enough that if you're even slightly mechanically inclined, you'll be good. You'll be able to do it yourself. So, hope y'all staying safe out there. Y'all be good. Love y'all.